Welcome. You're listening to 27 Degrees SAG, the Galactic Center. And if you don't know by now, that exact degree in your personal astrology chart is where the Galactic Center is located. And that's where all of the information comes directly from source into planet Earth and into you. It is amazing. If you have any interest, if you're curious, if you never had a session before, I'd love to introduce you to you. You can go to my website, Kimla, Lowe, Lowe.com, and book a session with me. Tonight, I am so excited. It's the day before this full moon in Aquarius. And this particular full moon is, again, one of these full moons that just make you, it just shakes you up, everything seems to be going copacetic. You're doing everything right. And all of a sudden, rip, the universe goes, no, it looks better upside down. And you have to fly upside down. And it's meant to really shake you out of a rut, to really help you see a different perspective, and also to have you respond from your gut, from your intuitive nature, and use the gifts that God gave you in order to go on with life. The good thing is tomorrow, Venus, the planet of love and higher money, is moving into Leo. Dramatic, big-hearted, generous Leo. I mean, could we ask for anything better? It's really going to neutralize that full moon it is just squared Saturn and Uranus, and it's just kind of one of those, harsh full moons, they call it, but we can get through it together. And especially with this wonderful talent, this spiritual friend of mine that I have tonight who's in the house. And I am going to read you a little bit about my guest tonight. Her name is Dr. Samone M. Smith Brown. And she is an intuitive reader, a published author, an educator, a certified life coach, and television and radio personality who believes in living her best life. Her PhD is in psychology, and she has changed the lives of many people all over the world. When she is not speaking publicly or giving readings to clients, or even filming her show, the Dr. Samone Show, which airs in Jamaica, she's publishing books that either help build you up to break through life's barriers or excite your wild side. Dr. Samone, also known as Mistress India, wants to leave her mark so deeply on the world that future generations will remember the teachings she gave, the readings she conducted, and the light she has shared, the laughter she has ignited, and the sex appeal she has helped everyone find, harness, and embody. Oh, this is my spiritual friend. We call her the amazing Dr. Samone. Put your hands together. Thank you. Welcome. How are you? Are you there? Hello? Okay. You have to turn the switch on so that you can talk to us. It's on the bottom. Okay. It's not happening. Okay. Not going. Wonder what happened there. You are on. So we're having what did I tell you about Uranus, right? We're having a technical difficulty. Can you hear me, Dr. Samone? Yes. Then on the very bottom, in the middle, there is a microphone. Did you see it? Is there a line through it? Okay, press that button and it will unmute. It's not unmuting? No? Okay. Hello. Can you hear me again? Can't hear. Okay. I don't know on your end what it could be. Sorry about this, everybody. we are going to we are going to take a pause. We're going to take a pause. And here, I am going to see if this will help at all on the bottom of private. Can you push the microphone again? No, it's not working. Okay, she's going to re-enter on her phone so that we can complete this interview. Thanks so much for just hanging out while we go ahead and get her back on. And she's going to be on directly. There, we can hear you now.
I know. Now let me fix everything. I don't know what's wrong with that stupid computer, but you know what? It's not going to stop the show. So
No, that's what I'm talking about. You think you're going around and everything's great, and then all of a sudden the universe goes, "Oh no, that's too conventional. We've got to kind of, rock and roll things up, shake things up a little bit." So
I'm fixing the ring light right now. So y'all could talk about life and whatever you want to talk about while I'm being a little mechanic over here.
Okay. Hi, Sheila. Thanks for coming in. We've got Tamika. Hello. We've got Ron. Hello. Julie's on. Hi, everybody. We're getting set back up again. Okay. Sheila says, hello. Looking wonderful. Happy to be here. Whoop, whoop. We're happy that you're here too. And we're all celebrating this great and wonderful full moon that's coming at us. And Venus and Leo. I love Venus and Leo. You know what that means? That means that we are going to have such a compassion, generous time ahead for the next 3 weeks. And this is exactly what we need to activate our heart chakra as it's in the sign of Leo. Leo rules the heart. And to open that up and to allow a lot of compassion into our lives as well. Glad to know the conversation has been made, or the connection. Oh, connection has been made. Good evening, ladies. And that is Ron. Hello, Ron. How are you? And Bill is there too. Hello. All right. Let's just do this again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Let's just take it from the top. Let me read that again. Did everybody get that? Let me see if I can just read that again. What did I do with it now? Oh boy. I don't know if I can even find it. Here it is. Let's just read that again for everybody. We had a little technical difficulty, but I really do want to tell you about Dr. Samone. She is a intuitive reader. She's a published author. We're going to be talking about her second book tonight. She's an educator, certified life coach, television and radio personality who believes in living her best life. She has her PhD in psychology, and she has changed the lives of many, many people all over the world. When she's not speaking publicly and giving readings to clients or filming her show, The Dr. Samone Show, which airs internationally in Jamaica, she's publishing books that either help build you up to break through life's barriers or excite your wild side. Dr. Samone, she's also being known now as Mistress India. We're going to get the whole story. Yeah. And wants to leave her mark deeply on the world that future generations will remember the teachings she gave, the readings she conducted, the light she shared, the laughter she ignited, and the sex appeal she helped everyone find, harness, and embody. There we go. Now properly put your hands together for my spiritual guest, Dr. Samone. Yay!
Thank you.
And now we're off and running. Hello, darling.
Thanks, hi, darling. How are you?
Thanks for hanging in there with us and kind of getting this back on track. So we have not been on the air together in quite a long time. And
I know.
so many things have been like fireworks for you. I'm so happy to see it. I really am.
Thank you.
You are a shining star. And going back to our relationship, when you were first on the scene, first trying to direct your energy, you were just this sweetness with this huge aura. And I thought, oh, is she ever going to grow into that huge aura she's carrying around?
I remember, and you gave me readings, and you were like, "Just calm down, it's going to work." And I'm like, "I don't know what this means."
It's like, oh my God, she's trying to grow into this huge personality that's waiting before her. And now you are doing, my hat's off to you, because
Thank you.
you are just tapping into all that creativity and really making it go for it. I mean, your first book came out, I got it, loved it, and I thought, here she goes, she's off and running. And then you what, when you got your show in Jamaica, right?
Yes, I wrote the first book, and I dedicated it to my brother, and my brother passed away 6 days after. And that kind of put me in a tailspin, but I know that he didn't want me to just do nothing. So I decided to just continue to embrace my gifts. I started reading for people all over the world. I had, of course, the radio show on Beacon of Light. Then Jamaica came and they popped up and they said, "We love you and we want you to help the people of Jamaica to live their best lives." And I said, okay.
Aww.
And then I was still, I went back into education to become a behavioral specialist, because I think that we should always try to give back, especially to the youth. And then it's just different things started happening. And then I always wanted to write a book like this. And Mistress India actually is my other name, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. And I just, wherever life takes me, I just want to touch everyone. And I want to make a difference, and I want people to be happy, and I want people to be sexy and they know it, and just live your best and happiest life, because life is fleeting. Life is like, it's like that.
I agree.
And you don't want to go to the, wherever the grave or wherever, with everything that was inside of you still inside of you. You need to make a mark. You need to make things better. You need to make things happier for people. And look at everybody in there. Hey, mommy. Hey, man, so many people. It's Steve, Tamika. Oh, Naima. Oh my God, Maria. Look at everybody. NG, whoever that is, I love you. My brother Ron is in there. Julie. Hey, Julie. Everybody who's in there. Hey.
Yeah, hi. So nice to have you tonight. Wherever you go, you just bring out the party. And everybody, look at her smile, and and everybody. So I'm so glad that you're here. You have been so creative for such a long time, and I feel like when you needed a validation through your being an educator, and getting your PhD was such a huge momentum for you. What a challenge, what a validation. But not just that, it gives you that foundation that
Right.
people are really going to listen, and
Right.
and really give you that platform where you can just now open up and and just get really creative. And I love that about you. People that really put their nose to the grindstone and accomplish things, as far as educating things, getting their degrees or their license or their accreditations, in doing what they really love to do. It is one of those wonderful, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everybody out there that has really put one foot in front of the other and just took it step by step to really gain that. A lot of people say, well, you don't need a degree in order to, make a mark on the world. And I have to say, you know what? Sometimes that degree means so much. And yes, I had to get that degree. And
Well,
You didn't have to, but you know what I'm saying? It's
Some people,
right?
though, the funny part about it is I asked, because I'm intuitive, I hear, I mean, I've read for people all over the world, hey, Shedrick. And I said to myself, why did I have to get a PhD? And it was because it had to lend validation to some of the things that I would say, because I would touch people in not just an intuitive way. Like, people wouldn't just come and pay me for readings. I would meet people and I would get messages that they needed to know, but I couldn't just say, hey, spirit told me to tell you. I had to say, psychologically speaking, I had to put it in something that was on their, that they can process and they can believe, because a lot of people still have, I mean, the world is opening up and everything else, but a lot of people still have a problem with saying I can connect through spirit. Even when I do readings, people are like, how did you know they were going to say that? How do you know that was going to happen? People keep coming and saying it happened exactly how you said. How do you do that? It's a gift, but other people aren't open to it. And I'm being used as like, they come in my sleep, they walk around like spirit walk around my house. I can't just explain it to people the way that they would understand. So it has to come through another venue. And I need to be taken seriously, because honestly, I've had other doctors tell me, you're not a doctor. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I got a degree and everything. And they're like, no, look at what you look like. You're not a doctor. And I don't want to hear anything you have to say, because they can't get past whatever they see on the outside. So the degree was very necessary. And it's something I always wanted to do. Like, I was a model, and people say, oh, modeling is great. You get to fly all over and be on the runway and take pictures. I mean, I've had clubs closed down for me for photo shoots, and it was fun. I've traveled, I've been on runways, I had fur coats, and I was cute. But inside of me, I knew it was something different. And I didn't like that part of it. I just wanted to become a doctor. I wanted to help the world. I'd rather be a pretty doctor than somebody pretty in the magazine, and people feel they have to look a certain way in order to feel good and accepted and worthy. I wanted them to feel that regardless of what they look like. So I just felt my mission was to go ahead, become a doctor, and try to heal as many people and touch as many people as you possibly can before you leave this earth. So that's what I did.
Right. And so you've been working internationally, giving readings and life coaching and all of that. And your first book, what it's the title of your first book?
The Deconstruction and Reconstruction of You. And I wrote that in I tell people this a lot of times. Sometimes we get a lot of signals from above. And if we don't change our lives, if we don't change our direction, God is going to find a way to change it for you. So I wrote it when I was in a very bad spot. There was a lot of hate around me, and there was stuff going on with my job, and I had to leave my job, decided to leave my job. And I did not know why. God, why is this happening to me? What are you doing? But it was to happen because I was keeping myself away from where my path was. So I wrote it from my heart, and I wrote it from my life. When I was younger, my mother actually found out, who was on this thread right now, in my book, that when I was in my 20s, I was going to commit suicide in her house. And I wrote it from those hurtful times, from those times being told you're stupid and you're ugly and you're dumb and you'll never be anything, being in abusive relationships, being beat up, being left by myself, doing things just so people could love me and look at me, and not feeling that I was going to be anything, being told what I was going to be instead of being what I wanted to be. So that first book, I realized that you have to break yourself down. You have to write those things on a piece of paper and burn them and let them be tangible. You got to cry. You got to be upset. You got to face it. But then you got to, after you tear it down, you have to build yourself up to be the person that you want to be. You can't be what everybody else tells you to be, because you'll never be authentic. And again, this life is fleeting. My brother is gone. He's 41 and he's gone. And I thought we'd be together till he was 80 and I was 87 or 83 or whatever the thing is. Yeah. So you have to be who you want to be. That's and right. You have to embrace that. Everybody is not the same, but everybody has something beautiful inside, and you can leave it in this world. But if you go by what everybody tells you, you'll never discover your jewels inside. You'll never be who you're supposed to be.
That's right. And that is so important, because so so many of us, as we're transitioning and we're going through and growing up um, and getting through the first battles of just landing our feet, somewhere other than the family. It's one of those things that, you've got so much trauma when you arrive on the planet sometimes. And then you go through more trauma with the family, and it's like, oh, when is this going to end? It's just overwhelming. And one of the things that I really love about this show is to bring to light that you can get rid and dissolve that generational trauma. You can break that chain. You can make a difference here. And a lot of us that's the reason why we're here, is to really stop that from happening. End that train. Get off,
Right.
get off and make it easier for not only you, but the generations to come.
Right.
And I feel like people are getting smarter. They're opening up. They're getting it. They're seeing results. Okay, that's it. No matter, like, if you're doing a regression or you're doing you're going through Akashic records or your astrology chart where you learn your soul imprint, why you're here. No matter what it is, people are getting it now. And then you back it up with this wonderful creativity, that you've got going on. So tell me how Mistress India is in front of us right now. I want to know this one.
Okay, well, first I want to say, Mommy, I apologize about the things that I'm getting ready to say. I love you, girl. Okay. I don't know where to start. Aside from being the person that I am a very, 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 very sexual person. Like, very, like, I love it. Like, it's the great. Okay, so I'm very sexual. And that was a part of me that was supposed to be suppressed, especially when you become a doctor. You're not supposed to be sexy, talk sexy, do sexy things. You're supposed to be a doctor. I was Samone, and I was India, and then Mistress India before I was Dr. Samone ever. So just because you get a degree really doesn't, Mommy said, do your thing. All right, girl. So just because you get a degree doesn't mean that you have to, not be who you are. And also people have to understand that a great and healthy sexual appetite and identification of yourself helps you emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically. So that's a part of you should not cut off. And this book, because when I was younger, I used to read all of the penthouse forums. I would go to Barnes and Nobles and get those nasty big penthouse books, and I would read everybody's little dirty stories. And I would make little dirty stories of my own because I was a very sexual person. So with that being the case, I said, you know what? I'm going to write my second book. And I don't want to put it under Dr. Samone because it's not a doctor book. It's not a help you book. It's a I'm going to help you type of book. So I put the name Mistress India, and here comes the story. First, I was a phone sex operator, and my name was India. And that was back when I was living with my mom. I don't know if did you know that, Mommy? Oh, damn. If you ain't know, I'm sorry. But yeah, when I was in my room, Mommy, on the phone, I was a phone sex operator. I'm sorry if you didn't know. So I was phone sex operator, and I would always say my name was India. So this time I said, let me go ahead and pick my a name that I used when I went to a sex club, and I wasn't doing anything. Okay, Mommy. But I was a dominatrix for the night because I had dominatrix friends. I have people in all. I know, Mommy, I'm sorry. I have people in all walks of life, and I love everyone. So a dominatrix friend of mine said, I'm going to be at a club.
Right. Let me just interact here. As far as that goes, when you really get down to it, there are specific forms of art and specific forms of communication, whether it is physical, whatever that particular, category is.
Right.
And when we can borderline that, and everybody says, oh, that's so toxic, that's so unhealthy, that's so this, that's so that. But it can be just like geisha pouring tea or being a geisha girl.
Right.
There is a specific form of art to that.
It is.
I'm not saying everybody does it as an art form, but I'm going to reject that there is the art of dominatrix. There is. Go
And
ahead.
I was an artist. Yes, I was. I was an artist. So I went to the club, and my friend said, I walked around the club. I watched everybody do their thing, and my friend was in the room with, there's different levels with it. You have a mistress or a master or whatever. You have a goddess. Goddess was above all of us, and goddess had a husband. There was a couple in there, and the guy was getting whatever he was getting on a machine, and the girl was sleeping with doing whatever she was doing with goddess's husband. So they walked me in and they said, "What would you want your name to be tonight?" I said, "I am Mistress India." So they gave me some, paddles and whips, and I went and I did my thing. And then, it was great. And it stuck with me because it was always something that I wanted to do. I believe that in life, you got a bucket list, and there are certain things that you want to do. And one of the things I wanted to do was, it's powerful to walk in with the whip and the shoes, and you say, "Now listen to what I tell you and do as I say." And they have to do it, and it feeds you. And me being a sexual person, and also being a Leo in my rising, and my sun and moon, and whatever, I have that in me. And it was amazing. So I figured I would use my dominatrix name for this book, because I don't want the Dr. Samone stuff to filter in with the sexual stuff. I mean, it can in a way, because I am that person. But if you don't want the sex, you want the doctor, then that's that. If you want the sex, then that is this. And I've gotten so many compliments. So many people say, "Oh my God, this book is so great. When you write the next one?" I have 50 stories that I have to put in different volumes, because people are submitting stories because they're like, it's freeing for me. And I don't have to use my name, and I can get this out, and that's a part of me, and I enjoyed what I did. So in essence, it's kind of cathartic for people to go through me to put their story out.
Interesting. That's also, and saying that you're a doctor in psychology, that's also kind of like a sex therapy kind of thing as well, right? I mean, you're trying to get rid of the doctor, but you really can't.
I can't. I can't. I wouldn't want to. I mean, I think that some people within their sexual relationships or what have you, they have a lot of hangups, and they have a lot of blockages, and they don't understand why. So if someone comes to me and they know that I'm not just a doctor, but I can also speak to why there's a trauma, why there's a blockage, why you should be free, why there's nothing wrong with you being who you are, what you are, liking what you like, except if you with babies and children and dogs and cats. I don't, that other stuff, nah. But everything else, be you. Enjoy you. Enjoy what you feel like when you touch yourself. Learn what your energy feeds your energy from. Just first, you have to know you, and then what you get from other people, because everything starts, whether sexually, mentally, psychologically, whatever, it starts with you. You have to know you, love you, accept you, embrace you, walk in your energy fearlessly. And a lot of people don't know what their energy is. And I also teach that. Like, people come to me and like, "I don't know what my energy is." And I'm like, "I will teach you your energy." And then they walk out and they're just running stuff. And when you have that energy, you can take it from the bedroom to the boardroom, especially being a woman. We're not really always in the boardroom. So if you're in that essence of yourself, you can take your dominatrix from the bedroom and walk into the boardroom and slay everybody, and get whatever you need to get, and walk out of there with just obliterated everybody. But you have to know you first.
Right. Absolutely. And going through that, there's been so many lifetimes of people who have had their root chakra or their sex connection and their sacral chakra shut down over, over dominance, over manipulation, over, abuse, those kinds of things. And sometimes, and this is really interesting, and this is kind of what I'm hearing, is that's inner shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
When you start working in the dark places of trauma and you bring that stuff up, that's
Mm-hmm.
that shadow inner work where I'm going to get this up. I'm going to bring it to the surface. I am going to get it out. And sometimes you feel such a relief
Right.
that, you can go forward in so many places in your life. And there's a lot of different ways shadow work, can happen. Sexuality is one of them. Okay.
Right.
Finding your voice, being heard.
The throat. Right.
Yeah, allowing your intuitive nature to come through. If you've got trauma in the heart, you can't even feel anymore. It's like, I can't feel anymore. I've got so much scar tissue in the heart, right?
But if you have also, it could be the other way. If you have pain in your heart, okay, now I'm about to be a doctor. Um, there is a lot of, and I did my dissertation as a part of it about attachment theory. Depending on how you attach with Ainsworth and Bowlby, depending on how you attach is how you to your caregivers, how you're going to attach with your intimate relationships. So sometimes people can be so damaged as they were growing up, and they had not a lot of love, or however it was given wasn't good enough to satisfy them. They didn't securely attach, that it could either be they shut down or they look for everybody and everything. And please just give me attention for 5 seconds. I just want to feel loved, and I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna love you, because 5 seconds of you looking at me makes me feel like I'm worth something, because nobody looked at me and I didn't have this and I didn't have that. And I went through that part of it. Because I mean, I love my dad. My dad is now 78. He is a different man. But when we were growing up, my mother, and she could get in the comments, she was the one who took care of me and my brother. And my mother had to work, and she worked and worked and worked. And she wasn't always able to be there to be like, Simone, oh my goodness. She had to take care of me and my brother. Mm-hmm. And then not having a father in the house made me at one point, and it's not her fault. And besides, I'm a very sexual person. I knew that ever since I was 5 years old. I didn't know what these feelings I was having, but when I didn't have that connection, and I realized why I would go here and talk to this person, or here and let this person use me, or here and have sex with this person, or I needed sex all the time. It was because if you looked at me for 5 minutes, you made me feel as if somebody was paying attention to me, and I was worth it. I did not know where my self-worth was. I was living in, where's my daddy? Why doesn't the man love me? And then, my first relationship, he, on certain terms, used to beat my ass. Like, because I saw that. And I was like, if you love me, you got to beat me. And then everything was just so terrible.
You connected, yes. So you associated that. Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
Right. It was terrible. But, I one day I just said to myself, I said, girl, what are you doing? Who are you? And what are you about? And then one of the hardest things I ever had to do was apologize to the little girl. Because whether we know it or not, we still have little girls and little boys within us. And a lot of our acting, our behaviors come from that unhealed little girl and little boy. So you have to go back, and you literally have to sit there and say, I'm sorry for letting this happen to you. I'm sorry for not letting you explore who you want to be. I'm sorry that you're hurt, and I'm going to make it right now. And we're going to grow together, and you're going to be healthy, and I'm going to be healthy. And when I started to try to talk to the little girl in me, there were times I couldn't do it. Like, I was embarrassed to talk to myself. Right. Because of all of the hurt and the pain and the trauma and the I'm nothing, and it would be better if I was dead, and I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough. And when I tried to talk to her, because you have to imagine your little self, I would see me little, and I would just start bawling. I would just start crying, like, I really messed you up. I really didn't love you the way that you should have been loved. And now I have to,
you have to forgive yourself because you didn't know how.
I did not know how. Right.
Didn't know. Yeah.
Right.
I get it. And a lot of times, it's funny, but I always say that when you're attracted to somebody, and you can say, oh, wow, on the outside, they're so this and that and attractive and blah, 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 blah. But what you fall in love with in your partner is the little person. you look at your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever, and when they let their little person out, that's what you fall in love with, because that means that you're safe and you can let your little person out.
Right, right, right,
When you fall in love as little people, and then you can handle the adult world.
right,
And, some people say, well, I know how, you defend your relationship. Well, I know how you must see him, ripping up the football field or whatever you want to do. But I know the little boy in him. And that's what
right,
I love about him. I don't, love the big beefy football player on the field. I mean, I love that little boy inside. I know that little boy. And I feel as though we have to treasure that. If someone
right,
shows you that little child, number one, they feel safe, right?
right,
And number two, they see it in you.
right.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you get married, you get older and you get married and you're like, oh, he's just so attractive and whatever it is. And then y'all are together and then you start having these issues. And you're right. We have to find the little person, because what the little person has gone through is being, displayed from the older person now. And if
Yeah.
you understand why the older person is behaving in such a way, and you understand who the little person is, you'll understand, oh, that's because, and now since I know where the root of it is, we can go ahead and work together and be together. And and I've been married for 18 years. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of women want to get married. A lot of women, you better know the man. Don't just marry him because he's cute and he got some money. Because no. All right. There were times with my husband that, girl, they could have put me in jail because I did not understand him. And that was also, I didn't understand my little girl either. It was before I did my own little girl work. But now I look at him and his little bald head. I love him. Like, I'm good. Like, I understand you. I understand why you're this way, and you understand me as well. He can even tell me what's going on in my head, or why I'm not feeling like I'm sick or something, before I know why. Because
Right.
we've had to grow together. It's
Yeah.
like no one's perfect, but if you find that person that you're willing to stick it out with, you grow, together, and you're good for, you're perfect for each other.
Right.
No one is perfect. It's kind of like that little ugly tree outside. You see some of the trees are nice and big, and then you have other trees that are growing like this, and they got other trees growing with them. But it's something pretty about it, and the tree is nice, and it's still up, but it's not as straight as the other trees. It's because it had to grow together in order to be strong.
Right.
And you have to really love somebody. Like, I mean, really love them. Like, really, to go through talking to your little child and talking to their little child and growing like that ugly tree. You really gotta love them a lot.
When in 18 years, or 25 or 35 or 40 or whatever, you change as a person.
Yes.
And it is just such, I think, a miracle to be able to go through time like that, and you're changing, and they're changing, and your commitment can be transparent. Sometimes it can be frayed. It can be like hanging on by the skin of your teeth.
Right.
While you are, in this kind of cocoon, and you come out and you emerge and you're this new person, and you have to fall in love all over again. And
Yes, that happened.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Because if you don't fall in love all over again, you might stab them in the eye with a butter knife, and you don't want to go to jail. So you got to fall in love all over again.
So you got to find a way. You got to
You're
find a
right.
way. So tell me a little bit now. Tell me the name of this book, and maybe you can give us a little teaser on your chapter, one of your favorite chapters in your book.
Okay. So the name of the book, obviously, Mistress. I don't know if you can see Mistress India. It's called The Erotic Stories of Real People. This is me on the cover, and this is me on the back. I don't know why I get so funny because I know my mommy listening, but it's 7 stories are mine. And before I say anything, I changed everybody's name. Even when stories were given to me and they said they changed the name, I changed it more. because I just want to make sure everybody was protected. I didn't want anybody getting mad. So there are 14 stories, and it was, let me tell you how this book was published though, because one of the people who I ain't gonna say one, the person who published this book, I gotta tell you about her. Now, the one who did the cover art, his name is Sean Strong, and he is from the UK. He is amazing. He did my first book and my second book, but my first book I published myself, and I didn't do it too well. So my second book was published by, and I don't know if she should still be on here, Keisha Christian of Dropping Gems. She's a holistic life coach. She has a television station, the Rewind Network, I believe it is. If Keisha, put your stuff up there, if she's still in there. And I was talking to her about the publishing of this book, because I don't like publishing it. I just wanted to write it and put it out. So she did everything, and she did the copyright, she did the ISBN, she did the chapters, she did like how the chapters look in the beginning. I don't know if you can see it. It's all nice and cute. And she put it on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes and Noble, Lulu. She puts it everywhere. Every book I publish will be published through Dropping Gems. Like I can't do it. Like, she did amazing. So what happened was, I have an email address, and yes, the audio of the book. Yeah, I have to do an audio book too. So what was I forgot what I was going to say. So it has 14 chapters, 14 stories, because y'all can't even see it because my ring light is so bright, but 14 stories. And I didn't want to make it too big, because after getting a dissertation and reading research, I don't like big books. It makes me nervous. So but I know that I'm probably going to have to make the next book bigger than this. So it's 14 stories. And like I said, I changed everybody's name. I dedicated the book to my brother. Everything I do will always be dedicated to my brother and whomever else after that, but it will always be dedicated to him, because he was with me every day.
When you went through that, maybe you don't remember, but I remember when you went through
I
that.
do. I remember, because I reached out to you. I reached out to Sandra. I reached out to Susan. Because I needed to know he was there. Like, I can feel spirits and everything, and they talk to me. But when it's you personally going through it, you want confirmation that it's really, you're not crazy, you know? Right. So yeah, I do remember. And you were there. Like, you were there before.
I sent you the cross. Remember the wooden cross?
You know what? And let me tell you about that cross before I get into this little dirty book. We took the cross and we put it on his hospital bed. And every day that cross was there. When he passed away, I took some of his crosses and stuff, and they burnt up in the fire. So I have nothing else of my brother. I just have him in my spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, everything's gone, because I had it in my prayer meditation room, and that's the room I call fire first. But I remember you sent that cross, and we put that cross on his hospital bed, and you were down the shore. You got it when you were with your daughter, and we kept it with him. Yeah, we kept it with. We loved it. When I got that cross, it meant so much to me. So, by the way, thank you. If I didn't thank you then, I don't remember what it meant. But
it's been a long time since we caught up with each other.
And it was with him. It was with, you didn't have to do it, but you did, and it meant so much. So yeah, it was with
all of us. Yeah, because prayers were with you and your mommy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was devastating, but you know, I dedicate every book to him, even the little nasty ones. And another reason I dedicated this book to him is because my brother was my best friend, and he spoke to me very raw about everything, including the girls he was with. So nothing a man says to me makes me like blush. Like, I'm like a man. Like, give me a shot of tequila and let's talk about the girls. Like, I'm good with that, and that's all because of him. So I dedicated this book to him too. So it's 14 stories, and to say that they are raw is an understatement. So if you are a little bit shy, I don't know if this book is for you, but I told everybody, and if anyone wants to contribute to the next book, you sure can, but I leave it in the way that they write it, because it's their words and their energy and their story.
Right. Okay.
So however they put it, whatever words they use, unless like it was something grammatically incorrect, I did proofread because I didn't want to put that in the book and it looked crazy. But the essence of their story and what they're trying to convey, I leave it. So some of these stories are rather, oh my God. And my stories are, oh my God, too. They're probably more, oh my God, than a lot of them. But, people were just really free with their words. I'll just put it like that. So, and I love all of the stories. I don't know which one I could even, because they get right into the juice. And I don't know if you have kids watching. I don't even know. Mr. Bill is on. He said, give him a shot of tequila. If I read this book, Kimla, later on,
He's
Mr.
ready.
Bill might.
He's ready to write a story.
Mr. Bill's gonna say, submit this to Mistress India. Give me the shot. So, yeah. So it's one of my favorite books, I think, and it was fun to do. So, yeah.
So I want you all to run out and get a copy of this book. You can get it at your favorite bestseller. And just have a wonderful private time with this book, or public, whatever you feel like. My question here, to bring it into the future here, is: do you think people are now, because of 50 Shades of Grey and blah blah blah, everything was always burlesque, X-rated? Now people are accepting things in the norm, maybe a double X rated now, maybe R rated or whatever that is. But, do you feel like this is something that you see in the future coming through, where there's more sexuality? Or do you feel as though we don't need it anymore? What kind of, because we're getting more into the mental head game and intuition and telepathy and things like this, where people aren't really wanting to procreate and wanting to use that particular avenue. How do you feel about that?
I think the more open we get and the more we connect with who we are, that is just going to innately come out anyway. People like me who have this gift, and I read energy. Like, people can send me pictures and I have to look in your eyes and I can tell you what you're thinking, what you've done. I pick up energy. I feed off of energy as well. And I'm also part of the collective. I meditate, I do readings, I do all that stuff. And a way for me to recharge is to feed off the energy of others. And one of the deepest, most intimate, most passionate, highly charged energies you can have is when you're exchanging that sexual energy with somebody. And, some people drink or whatever. For me, I need physical. I need, like, if I'm doing 3 readings in a day, or a spirit is walking through the house or something and I'm drained, my mind and my body needs to be replenished, like from someone else's body. It's kind of like a vampire, they
Energy
eat.
exchange, yeah.
Right. I need that.
Yeah,
so the more we open up and the more people realize, I have this gift, or I am a part of the collective. I think that, kind of like the box will open. And even some people who didn't realize that they had these type of feelings or this type of energy, or they like that type of stuff, or this stuff was crazy before, but now it seems kind of okay, let me try it. I think that the more they open up, the more that many people are going to find that they have this type of energy within them anyway. And being that they're opening up and they're accepting of things, I'm not saying that they're just going to jump right in and go get a whip and be a dominatrix, but they may start doing little things by little things by little things and saying, okay, it's not so bad. It's not what I thought, and what I was told it really isn't. So, and it makes me feel a certain way. And it makes me, when I feel a certain way, I'm able to feel a certain way about the world and do whatever I need to do. So I think the more we are open and the more we accept, the more people are going to open that part of themselves up and, embrace it, and not look at it like it's 1920 and a woman can't show her ankles or what have you. The human body is beautiful. A lot of people think you have to get your body done, you have to look a certain way. No, you could be, like I tell people all the time, and I hate to say it this way, but you have to say it this way sometimes. A fat girl can take a skinny girl's man anytime. It depends on your confidence. Don't think because you look a certain way that
Right.
so if you have that energy, like Lizzo, for instance, I think she is gorgeous. She not no little toothpick. The energy that you have, what you feel about yourself, you need that exchange. So I'm hoping that people are more accepting, because we're moving towards really embracing it, like the other side. There were times where people would say, when you die, and there's no other side, and there's no such thing as energy, and the frequencies don't mean anything, and the chakras, that's crazy. And now you have science coming out saying, oh my goodness, that's wrong, and this frequency does that, and this arpeggio frequency, and this binaural beats frequency, and all that means something, and you see it does blah 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 and everything else. So it's starting to be proven. And some of the people who needed it to be proven in scientific ways are now going to also be able to accept it in the spiritual way, because now they have the tangible, quantitative information that they can put together with the spiritual and see that it is real. Right. So I'm hoping everybody embraces all of themselves. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, there's been, let's talk about in the past, because there has been a specific ceremony about the body that it's had so much sacred connotation to the body, and sacrifice of the body, and the use of the body, and in a sexual nature. When you really get down to it, you have explained it so nicely that you need this exchange of sexual energy. And when you get into that momentum, it opens up all of the chakras so that you can receive and be a channel for source. Now, the fun part about exchanging, let's talk about the energy of exchange, because when you exchange energy, what it is it's a validation for you. I validate, they validate what's inside of me. I validate what's inside of you. Right. This exchange flows over, and you're going to love this, the more sex you have, because the exchange shows up on the outside and manifests as more money, because you're exchanging. Money is a matter of exchange.
Yes.
So when you feel very free about exchanging and honoring what's inside of you sexually to what's inside of someone else, it breaks the chain and the boundaries while you're not making money. While the flow, you are opening up the flow in so many different realms of your auric field. And spiritually, you could say this is a sacred movement. You can put that name on whatever you want, but in reality, it opens up your circulatory, it opens up the heart for the compassion, the acceptance,
right,
and all of that. And when you really think about it, people always say, oh God, I'm stuck. I'm doing everything right. We feng shuied the house. I still am not making any money. And I'm like, let's take a closer look at that.
Yeah. Maybe you need to open up, because people don't get that. I try to tell people all the time, like people say, oh, it's easy. If you want something to manifest something, you just put it out in the universe and it comes on back. And I'm like, no, that is cute to say, but it's like the difference between writing a letter and sending an email. You can, if you want to write a letter, you have to get the paper, get the pen, write the letter, put it in an envelope, sign the envelope, let somebody else touch it, put it in the mailbox. Then they take it out, it's so much. And then it finally gets where it's going to get. You want to know what that means? It's because your energy is not open enough and clear enough for everything just to flow free and go. But once you're able to sit and meditate, and you're opening up, and you're realizing what you're connected. Like you can use 7.83 hertz, which is the Schumann's resonance, which is how the earth sounds as it goes around. If you want to connect, you want to be one with the earth. the way you send that energy out and that manifestation or that desire out is going to come back quicker. It's going to come back more peaceful. It's going to be as if you already had it. But if you just send it out and you're not exchanging that good energy, or you're not open enough to receive the energy, it's not just putting it out, but you have to also be open enough for whatever you're putting out that comes through the crown to come back through the crown and go all the way through you, so you're able to accept it. And people don't get that. They're kind of like, oh, just say it, it happens. No, you can say it and it'll find its way. But if you learn how to really know what the energy is about, know how to connect, and different people, and I tell people when I teach meditation, when you meditate, the way that I know that I'm connected may not be the same way that you know that you're connected. But you'll find that time when you're just doing it and you're like, oh my goodness. And you're able to manifest it. I manifested something in 4 hours just as a test. I said, I hadn't spoken to an ex-boyfriend in years. And my spirit, I was meditating and I said, I really want to see if this works. So my spirit said, think about somebody. Send this energy off to this person. Not somebody you ever talk to. Send it off. Open yourself up. Connect to us. And once you feel you're connected, you send it out as if you already have it. And watch what happens. 4 hours later, I get a heart on Twitter. And I was like, what? And then he's in my inbox like, I just want to tell you that you're the best girlfriend that I ever had. And I'm sorry about everything that happened. And I see what you're doing in your life. And I'm just so happy and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, my God. And spirit, because once you're really connected, you're able to hear source speak to you. Spirit was like, I told you. So you have to understand that frequencies are real. Connection is real. It's not just sending it out. It's the chakras are real. The whole thing is real. But you have to really be open enough to be open here and everywhere else in order for everything that you send out to come back to you.
Right. And it's pretty obvious, when there is what I want to call a blockage or, a disconnect or whatever that is. I mean, that's pretty obvious as to, our relationship and you start leaking energy. That's another one. When you're not flowing, and there's stuff going on, that means that, that has to go out somewhere, right? Because there's a blockage there. Right. So you start seeping, energy out of other places, and it comes out as a unbalanced dis-ease. And so
dis-ease, exactly. Not at ease, dis-ease, right?
Yeah. So in kind of wrapping all of this up, you have this show in Jamaica, you've got this book, anybody that wants the real deal, you've got to get a hold of her. She's awesome, and it is amazing experience. She'll make you laugh till you cry, but she'll make you look in the mirror big time, this one. And she'll make it better for you, which I love about her. I really do. She's one of a kind. I mean, you start living authentically. Just look at this girl right here. She's putting it all out there, and it's really, and we love you. We love you.
I love everybody who was in there. Ron and Lamont and Blessed by the Best and my mama and Kim and oh my Lord, Sheila, Mr. Bill, get you something, Mr. Bill. Maria, Facebook user who I just don't know who that is, but I love you anyway. And if I'm forgetting anybody, Keisha, Camille. Oh my Lord, I'm trying to go real fast. Steven, but he had to leave. Lamont, everybody. If I forgot anybody, just charge it to my head and not my heart, because I love you and I appreciate Shedrick. I appreciate everybody who came and
Maria's there too.
Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Thanks. I love Maria. She gave me readings too. I love her.
Yeah, she's adorable. And I have to say, if you are ready for a reading and you want to learn about astrology and you want to get into working out a timeline, because we've got some major stuff coming our way. And during the fall, we've got eclipse season that's really going to turn some things around that you've been working on. So, come back, push the like button, the subscribe button. We're going to get deeper on some of these shows, and we're going to blend in everything we know and talk about it and answer your questions. And we're going to do some readings right out of the chat room too on shows. And we're going to have a lot of fun. You must come back no matter what name you're under.
Oh, Naima, I love you, Naima. Okay, I had to put it out there. Okay, whenever come back. Anytime you want me to come back.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? We're going to have to run a little bit to keep up with this lady. She's fabulous. She's just blown it out of the water. I'm so proud of you, honey. It's just,
thank you.
It's really, really lovely to see. Everybody, thank you so much. Enjoy the full moon tomorrow night in Aquarius, even though there's going to be some shake, rattle, and rolls coming at you. But Venus in Leo happening tomorrow. Enjoy, enjoy. Thanks so much for coming with us on this wonderful journey. From myself and Dr. Samone, we're out from 27 degrees SAG, the Galactic Center. Have a good evening, and until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.